Now let's talk about Kramatorsk, okay? So there was a missile strike on a train station where you had a bunch of peaceful civilians gathering. There was an attack on Kramatorsk. Kramatorsk is an administrative center in the Kramatorsk rayon in the northern portion of Donetsk Oblast in eastern Ukraine. Prior to 2020, Kramatorsk was a city of oblast significance. Donetsk, eastern Ukraine. This is all part of the war on the Donbass. You're going to try to tell me, well, on the damn, Russia-occupied Donbass, the damn missile came from the Ukrainian forces, which I'll mention that. Okay, we'll talk about that first. So first, when you examine the evidence, you have to put, have a little T-chart, right? Russians did it. Somebody else did it. Okay, so that's what the West and Zelensky, they're all saying the Russians did it. So there's 57 people that were killed, 5 kids. So they went ahead and killed 57 people, including 5 kids. Who did it? We don't know. We do know. I think I know. But, there's definitely dead bodies. So a major fucking crime has happened at Kramatorsk. Was it the Azov Battalion? Was it the U.S. CIA? Was it motherfucking Poland? Did Poland just lose their shit and say, you know what, we're just going to add some chaos into this mix? So on the side that maybe Ukraine did it, I had heard a couple things. The missile came from where the Ukrainian forces are. They said that, the missile came from this direction. Here's the azimuth. And then the azimuth was right where the Ukrainian forces are. But Russia's all over the fucking Ukraine. You're going to tell me, well, it came from over that direction. And then also, could a Russian, be in the middle of that azimuth and had shot that? I think it's possible. How many fucking, how far was, where's the Russian forces? I got a lot of questions for for that little, Scott Ritter fact. He mentioned something about something on Twitter. And then also the missile. The missile, they said it came from the direction where the Ukrainian forces were. And then it also said that the missile has a serial number of a missile that was in the Ukrainian supply. Now, this is interesting because there's a difference between, 91579 and 9156. No, wait. Hold on. The missile that they found in Kramatorsk, the number on it, there's 2 numbers, W91579 and then 9M79-1. We're going to look at the first number because it's very close to the order of these other numbers. Yeah, there's only a difference of 13. So there was 2 missiles were found in the Donbass. They were SH91565 and SH91566. So if you just look at the numbers, ignore the W, ignore the SH, that means the 2 missiles that they found in the Donbass and the missile that they found in the Kramatorsk was only a difference of 13. Now that's if you're ignoring the W and the SH. Why would you ignore the W and the SH? I mean, it's only, a 5-digit number. Is it possible that you have 915, fucking missiles all over the goddamn place? Well, that's another 915 missile. And then also, who's to say that these actually came from, we got the serial number, and according to my list of all the serial numbers of all the weapons of Ukraine, who the hell's got a list of all the weapons of Ukraine? We don't even have a list of all the names of the dead bodies. What, 20,000 people have been killed in Mariupol and counting? So that's nearly 40 fucking thousand deaths. That's nearly, 40,000 deaths is more than the deaths of the War of 1812, more than the Mexican-American War, more than the First Persian Gulf War, and the Spanish-American War all combined. So that's evidence against Ukraine, okay? So we'll start off with that. That's evidence against Ukraine. Now, I'm on team Ukraine. Just because, let's assume both of those are true, which I'm not even going to give them that because I'm not convinced of either one of their claims, but the missile came from where the Ukrainian forces are. The serial numbers are the same serial numbers on these other missiles that had been shot. I think there was a specific kind of missile. What kind of missile was it? It was like a, a fucking fat boy or some shit. So that's, They're like, it's a specific. Okay, so if it's that could be good evidence. That could be good evidence. You'd have to get the original list and then explain what the SH versus the W means. And then also, Ukraine is going to attack its own forces. I mean, I want to adjudicate this in the public eye. I want Judge Judy to adjudicate this. We need a representative from, Team Russia, a representative from Team Ukraine, and we need to figure out what the fuck happened at Kramatorsk and what the fuck happened at Bucha. Because as long as people keep on putting a bunch of doubt in people's minds, it's either, 410 people were killed by motherfucking Putin, 57 people plus 5 kids were killed by Putin, or the Azov Battalion is pulling some shit, or the US CIA, or Poland, or somebody else. I was thinking of, I guess it could be, anybody false flag, but it could just be China, right? I mean, fuck, you heard Donald Trump suggest that stupid shit. He would just put China's flags on the thing. So hell, maybe it was Trump. Maybe Trump sent a fucking missile. Didn't he, bomb Soleimani for the fuck of it? Maybe he was one of the Trump supporters, one of the last remaining Trump supporters in the CIA. And Trump was like, why don't you go ahead and just launch that missile? Just go ahead and launch it. Just. So, the truth, I don't know. I haven't really debunked, those two things. I question those two things. Do you really have the actual, list of all the damn missiles? It is a difference of 13, which is, remarkable. Also, the W or the two letters in the beginning were different. And then from the direction of the forces, are you telling me that only the Ukrainian forces from like here to 100 miles, there's nobody from here to 100 miles, Ukraine's there 100 miles away, and then you're telling me nobody is in that line where the missile came from? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Just a general sense. I don't have, I don't think you have good evidence. I don't think you have smoking gun evidence. But in general, Russia has a terrible, awful history. Ivan the Terrible in the 14 and 1500s. Both Ivan the First, Second, Third, Fourth, and not the Fifth. The Fifth actually turned out to be, he was a victim of his father. So Igor and Olga, Rurik and Oleg of the 800 and 900s. Russia's just been killing motherfuckers left and right. Killing Russians, killing Polish people, killing, Ukrainians. The Holodomor, that's the goddamn Soviets. That was the communists. Starved the fuck out of the Ukraine. 4 million Ukrainians were starved the fuck out of. And then there's the genocide of the Ukrainians in the Luhansk and the Donetsk region for the last 8 goddamn years since 2014. It's so much talk. It's crazy that you hear so much talk about the Palestinians wanting to wipe Israel off the map, right? That's so terrible, man. Those damn Palestinians want to wipe Israel off the map. And yet in YouTube land, it doesn't seem like wiping Ukraine off the map is something to worry about. You motherfuckers have TV, you watch TV, so you might be thinking, God damn, everybody thinks it's good and proper and right. I would assume mainstream media, and I would assume that the U.S. government, they probably do have it right. But I'm being inundated by YouTube land, and YouTube land is saying that it's all wrong. I like freedom of speech, and I really hope that you're wrong. I hope that you're wrong. As a scientist, I keep the possibility that I'm wrong, open. I leave the open the option that I'm wrong. I leave that option open. I might be wrong. Ben Norton had said that war has been dividing the left for years. Yeah, it probably does. Peace creates peace. Of course it does, right? If you're not hurting people and they're not hurting people, that's if there's no criminals. If nobody's hurting people, then, then we're all good. But if there's criminals, then you got to have people who police them. You got to have people who stop them. Sometimes we do need to fight for love. Sometimes we do need to war for peace. We fight for ourselves and our loved ones, our wives, husbands, children, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, nieces, nephews. We'll fight for our neighbors, our Soviets, our working class unions. I'm betting we can introduce a bold, progressive agenda on the back of the Ukrainian war. A most righteous war indeed, but it's, a bit of a gamble. When you're confronted with an enemy who is weaker or equal to you, you fight. You fight to live. You fight. If you're confronted with an enemy stronger than you, you run and hide and you live to fight another day. Russia's our fucking equal. Probably our lesser, right? Threat of nuclear war has been around since 1945. No chemical, no biological, no nukes have been dropped yet, but that's the thin red line. That's when we know these fucking psycho mother... Like, I feel like in YouTube land, like mainstream media might all be about war, but in YouTube land, they're all about not doing war. So I'll keep, the option that I may be wrong. I might be wrong. I am biased. I am on Team Ukraine. Solidly, 100% Team Ukraine. I think we should nuke Moscow before this shit gets even more out of hand. The White House has orchestrated a fantastic symphony. I'm ready for Operation Asteroid. Pew, pew, pew. Operation Asteroid is we protect fucking Ukraine. We put a no-fly zone. We put boots on the motherfucking ground. And then every single tank, every single Russian plane or Russian man that crosses the fucking border, just like in the game Asteroid. You got one little triangle in the middle, and you got a whole bunch of these weird fucking shapes and shit all over the fucking place. You gotta shoot them all. Anytime anybody comes on your screen, you gotta shoot them all. No Russian tanky, you cannot come in here. No Russian planer, no Russian soldier, you cannot come into Ukraine. You cannot invade Ukraine. Now, if I'm proven wrong, let's say the US, CIA, and Azov, and Zelensky. Let's say Zelensky's a neo-Nazi, as, the YouTube left is saying. If Zelensky's a big-time neo-Nazi, and they did this, false flag shit, this Reichstag Hitler shit, which I could see, if I'm on Team Russia, I could kind of see the Hitler shit. Basically, Putin's he's invading, he keeps invading, he doesn't stop invading. He's a motherfucker that has a big military. Zelensky just got in there 3 years ago, democratically elected, which Putin wouldn't understand that shit at all. Putin's also fucking racist. He's talking about killing the gypsies. He's talking about mass murder, of the Ukrainian people. He believes that in one state, one Russia. So that's cultural genocide if that's not, outright genocide. We're going to wipe Ukraine off the map and nobody on YouTube land, except for TYT. TYT's been fucking killing it. White House has been killing it. So if Zelensky has a Nazi agenda, he wants the Aryan race to dominate the world. He's, got concentration camps of Jews all over the place. He's killing the Romani. Not Putin killing the gypsies, right? Because Ukraine, they're all gypsies in Ukraine, right? But talk about, being racist as fuck, like they say that's sort of a pejorative. I like the idea of gypsies, but I can see how people can say, look at those dirty gypsies or some shit like that. And so, Esmeralda was a gypsy. Esmeralda from Quasimodo from the Disney film. There's probably some author probably wrote it, but until there's mass murders of communists and trade unionists and Jews and Romani, that's happening in goddamn Ukraine. But let's assume I'm wrong, and it just becomes too goddamn, it's insufferable, it's unbearable. And who the fuck wants to live in, non-reality? Well, I started saying that it was good, and it's clear as day it was bad, but I'm going to stay the course. Now, if I'm going down the wrong road, it's never too late to turn back around. So when it becomes absolutely insufferable, when it becomes impossible for me to defend, fucking Azov, US CIA, Zelensky being neo-Nazis, as the YouTube left keeps saying, on YouTube, I see missile strikes, I see the propaganda, I hear all kinds of arguments for and against, for neutrality, against. So to neutralize somebody, I would think like you vaporize him. When I think of neutral, he neutralized him. He's been vaporized. Maybe that's what they're talking about, straight up genocide. I think he's doing genocide in Donbass for the last 8 years. Now he's just going to do straight up genocide. Mariupol might be the last battle. It might be their Dunkirk moment. I hear all kinds of arguments for and against. So, to neutralize somebody, all you have to do is befriend them. Bake them a blueberry pie. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them about their day. Be their buddy. Then they're neutralized. If you turn an enemy into a friend, haven't you got rid of the enemy? That would be accepting Putin into NATO. Let Putin join fucking NATO. God damn. Or also pay them. You know, how many companies and corporations and shitty motherfucking fascist authoritarians get away with, you know, ordering people like their personal slaves and shit because they pay them. You can't lose your job. You got to respect who pays you, right? You got to pay your damn bills. So to neutralize somebody, bake them a blueberry pie or pay them. So I think Russia did it. Those two pieces of evidence is part of the T-chart, is part of the overall picture. Let's see here. If you look at just the general, 50 to 100 different cities have been occupied. Let's, Mykolaiv, March 30th, you had 35 humans who were killed, Ukrainians killed in an airstrike on a government building. These damn Russians have been overly reckless in Chernobyl. There's nuclear radiation leaking all over the place. Apparently, they want the Ukrainians to turn into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or some shit. They got 3 eyes, 4 noses, and 5 faces. Kyiv isn't occupied. They look like they're turning away, but they might just double back. But it's been struck by missiles. Bucha, there's 410 civilians who have been killed in Bucha. 57 people were killed in Kramatorsk in that missile attack. You had Ener Holder. It's occupied. The deputy mayor's been abducted. The protests were violently suppressed. In Odessa, there's been 2 airstrikes, one on an oil refinery, 6 major explosions. Kherson is still occupied. There's a lot that's going on. And on Bucha, God damn it, Aaron Mate, we need your fucking verdict, Aaron Mate. Where the fuck? That goddamn Aaron Mate! That Aaron Mate just won't concede that it's Ukrainians who are attacked, or who got attacked, or a Russian. Which is it? Pick a fucking side, Aaron Mate. I just watched him on Jimmy Dore's show, and Jimmy was trying to get Aaron Mate to say that it was the Azov Battalion, but Aaron Mate just kind of laughed at that, and he said he wasn't going to take any sides. Oh, okay, Aaron Mate, you're not going to take any fucking sides, huh? So basically, Aaron Mate is Switzerland. He takes no sides. You just think you're so much better and smarter with your banking and your goddamn... You know Switzerland arms everybody? So with your gun rights, and your banking, you know, money expertise, and then you living up in the Alps, and you... He just tells you that you don't know what you're talking about. That's the genius of Aaron Mate, is that he tells everybody they don't know what they're talking about. And he doesn't really, know the complete picture too. He's not there. He doesn't know. He's just reading the same shit you're reading. But he knows for a fact that you don't know what you're talking about. And that sucks because most of the time he's right. On the Syria chemical, weapons attack, I have no idea what the fuck is going on in Syria. During the Arab Spring, I was 100% in solidarity with the Syrian people. Egypt too. Tunisia was the only successful Arab Spring revolution. So Aaron Mate is like my Noam Chomsky. He's like my spiritual advisor. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they're wrong. I hope none of this is even happening. I hope this is all a matrix. I hope this is one big computer program. But motherfuckers are getting killed. Here's at least 10 civilians were killed on the weekend strikes in the east. And one was killed. 11 wounded. One was a child that was killed. Oleg Sinagubov. That's the governor, the region's governor. That's in Kharkiv. And before, it had a population of 1.5 million. And you have Balaklia, Pesochin, Zolochiv, and Dergachi. These are 4 little hamlets, villages that were attacked. 10 civilians have been killed, 11 wounded. Of the 10 civilians, 1 was a child. In Balaklia, Pesochin, Zolochiv, and Dergachi. And then that's Shevchenko, Victor Shevchenko. R.I.P. Victor Shevchenko. He got killed too. Just a name I remembered. Victor Shevchenko. I hope it's not related to Anna. Or Ina.